In continuing coverage, a Gwynn man accused of domestic assault could now face more charges. 31-year-old Lewis Hemphill was in court today for a preliminary hearing, which was adjourned. The Michigan State Police says Hemphill was originally arrested for first-degree home invasion, felonious assault, felony firearm, assault causing great bodily harm, aggravated domestic violence, and resisting or obstructing an officer. Hemphill's arrest came after MSP troopers responded to a report of domestic violence at Beaumark Street at a Beaumark Street home in West Branch Township earlier this month. The defense argued against the adjournment. Judge Carl Weber gave his reasoning.
I am finding that there is good cause to adjourn today's preliminary examination based on the prosecutor's written motion to adjourn the preliminary examination. They're awaiting additional evidence. There's an ongoing investigation. And while I do recognize that Mr. Hemphill and defense counsel objects to the adjournment, I do find there to be good cause is warranted.
Judge Weber says the preliminary hearing will be scheduled for the week of April 14th, but the exact time and date have not been set yet.